with the most, Juke 2200. And today we're here to talk because I want to address this topic. I see women oftentimes always saying that it's the man's fault. The man's the asshole. It's us. They never did anything wrong. We're to blame for every broken and failed relationship. And they didn't do anything wrong. They were just this poor, old, loving, innocent woman who some asshole came and took advantage of and then abandoned. That's the narrative, guys. Meanwhile, she has terrible relationship skills. She's in a relationship trying to be independent. She's bringing her feminist ideology into the relationship. And you have to try to work all around that. Which brings us to point number one. Why is she terrible in relationships? Because she's selfish. She doesn't think about anyone outside of herself and what makes her feel good. To hell with what makes sense, what's better for the relationship, what's better, cooperate, to hell with that. What makes her feel good is what she's going to do. I'm looking both ways, so I got two cameras over here, okay? So another reason, she's self-centered. And let me not leave this here. When we say selfish, you ever heard of that saying, what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine? Well, not with women. With women, what's hers is hers and what's yours, she expects to be hers. And here in this Western side of the world, they are allowed to actually live that fantasy out. They are allowed to live that fantasy out. If you so happen to get into a contractual agreement with them, they are allowed to break the contract and still reap all the rewards, prizes, and benefits, which is going to be divorce raping you. And how do I mean she break the contract? The scripture, the oath that most of these people make when they get married, it says what? Till death do us part. Through sickness, through health, rich or poor, all of that, they cast all of that to the side. I'm not happy anymore. Just cast it to the side. And then go break the agreement, and guess what? Is awarded with cashes and prizes, and she'll be the beneficiary of your resources. She's selfish. Okay? Number two, self-centered. They want everything to revolve around them. They think the world revolves around them. And when I say they think everything revolves around them and belongs to them and should operate in the way that they feel that it should, I mean everything, including your time. You guys, including your time. All right? They think the world revolves around them. Which is why a lot of you get into arguments when you want to go. Some of you guys out there who still get into these long-term relationships and all of that, you still having arguments about going to have a couple of drinks with your boys, but meanwhile she'll run out to girls' night out, and it's not a big deal. Your woman's self-centered, man. She thinks everything revolves around her, including your time. And guess what? If you won't let your time revolve around her, then it'll lead to arguments. Which brings us to the next point. Let's get there. The next point is she's argumentative and always has to have the last word. She's argumentative, she's combative, and must have the last word. Argumentative, combative, and must have the last word. How many times have you, brothers, I hope you guys are, waking up and you starting to understand that men must go their own way. But if not, well, let's just take a flashback for the brothers who made those, mistakes before we were aware. How many times have you said something simple to your woman and you thought that just saying this, that would, that'd be it. Just something simple. And she has a pushback for it. She has to combat it. She has to question it. She has to turn it to an argument. How many of you, once again, how many of you argued about going to spin up? She wants you around her Anytime you're not at work, she wants you around her, or she wants to know where you at, keeping tabs on you. She might not be concerned about where you at. She might be just trying to make sure she's safe to, Anywho, let's keep going. So, as I was saying, how many of you have had arguments just because you want to go hang out with your boys and have a couple of drinks? Oh, you can't go out to the bar tonight? She's there ready to argue. How many of you? How many? And then how many of you have had arguments about your woman going to girls' night out and she goes anyways? Oh, you're just insecure. I just want, whatever the case may be, whatever it is to stop you. I mean, whatever it is that will allow her to go. But when it's flipped around, oh no, I'm not happy. You abandoned me. You care about your friends. They'll even try gay jokes. I've had women say, you must be messing with your friends. Who would want to be with their friends more than me? I could think of a few. I'd love to hang with my homies besides be with you. Oh, God. I could just hanging with the argumentative, combative. I could just imagine how I would trade anything in the world to be there. Now, brothers, you get where we're going. Her relationship skills suck. She's selfish, she's self-centered, she's argumentative, and must have the last word, okay? So, we lay down three different relationships. You got a relationship, a romantic relationship. You have a friendship, which is a relationship. And then you have a business relationship, right? So, let's look at the first one. Well, let's start with the business relationships. When you look at business relationships, it's been told to you, don't do business with women. That's noted. Okay. Number two, when we look at women in their businesses, it's normally a business. It ain't going really. Don't get me wrong. It's far and few. You have some women who do businesses that actually amount to something, or that is actually a business. Most of them, they probably selling little clothes here, little high heels, little, stuff like that. And what happens is, as soon as that business slows down, what do? They jump ship. They leave the business. They quit it. They no longer doing this. Now they're doing that. And then you see them doing that, and then a couple weeks or a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, they're doing something else. Now they're gonna quit that and they on something else. You see what I'm saying? Notice the pattern? They're jumping ship every time. Oh, a little trouble on this business, jump ship to a new business. Oh, it's trouble with this business, jump ship to a new business. And it keeps going. That's how they deal with business relationships. They will breach the contract in business relationships for whatever. Oh, I didn't like what happened. He said this and it just, or she said this, or I didn't like whatever the case may be. Anything that made them feel a certain way, they'll just quit their business. They'll just quit it and jump ship. Okay, watch this. Number two, the friend relationships. Now this goes without being said. I really don't have to say this. This is one of the closest measurements you can get to a relationship. Okay? A friendship is probably the closest you can get to a relationship without having a relationship. I mean, like, or a romantic relationship. So, now we talk about friendships. Do we even have to compare the friendships between men and the friendships between women? It's no contest. Men have way better friendships. Men friendships last way longer than theirs. Sometimes lifetimes long. Some men friendships last lifetimes long. In the friendship, they worked out issues. They done bumped heads probably, whatever the case may be, and they work through that and they remain friends. What does it show? Commitment, shows the accountability, it shows the will, the ability to forgive. It's so many dynamics goes into a friendship, and men seem to be way better at it. Men friendships last way longer and sometimes a lifetime. But women, on the other hand, how many friends do women go through? How fast does a woman call another woman her friend? And with that being said, How fast do they end friendships? How many, I said, how many friends do they go through? How many best friends has your wife or your friend or your girlfriend had? How many friends have you seen her fall out with? They have a history of falling out with friends and doing what? Going to the next friend. And then that something happens with that person, they leave that friend and go to the next friend. And then if something happens with there, I'm not talking to that friend anymore. Now I'm talking to that friend. What am I showing you here again? A pattern of them doing what? Jumping ship. And two different type of relationships. And then we have the last one, the romantic relationship, which is what they tell you they want. Serious relationship. I'm just looking for something so serious. That's what they tell you, right? But then we look at the divorce rates. 80% of divorces are filed by who? Are initiated by who? The woman. So that being said, what can we see? Well, we saw when they have business, anytime something comes up, they jump ship. We saw with their friendships, whenever something comes up, they jump ship. The divorce rates are so high, relationships are failing, couples are breaking up. Couples are not, men are, like I said, we're going our own way. We're not even, I'm not going to speak for most because we still got a lot of simps out there. But they're waking up. They're waking up. It's slowly getting around. It's making its way around. But men, we tend to stick things out. We tend, we're better at relationships. Let's just keep it. We have better relationship skills. That's just proof in the pudding. The woman in the relationship, a romantic relationship, we see that she will jump ship just as she did with the friendship and as with her business relationships. Okay? So those are that I think this is well put together. That is all that needs to be said about this. I am your host, Juke 2200. Shout out to the Juke squad. Make sure y'all putting them Juke moves and staying away from long-term relationships and stay away from the plantation. Like, comment, subscribe, leave